something like that happened. Something like that happened to me, and it was like, okay, that went into it. So, everybody's got some input in terms of experiences or stories, and everybody has many.
Oh, absolutely.
And
I
I think,
remember I started my period in 6th grade, and I begged God to take it away. I said, God, please take it away. It went away for 2 years. It didn't come back to 8th grade. So, but seriously, I really, and I never did like it, but
I think too, though, what's interesting at the ending is about unity amongst us, and including men and transgender and non-binary, the unity of all of us,
right?
Which is maybe not necessarily clear to everybody at the end, but is very clear if you take 2 seconds to think about it.
If you're listening,
yeah, if you're listening, right. It is very clear. Because I think it's important. It's not about pointing fingers or saying, this, and this. It's about telling stories about what happens with women, and hey, come be our ally. Like, come, let's all be together, but let's acknowledge each other and what happens,
Absolutely. Liz, can you speak a little bit on the title, #Infinity?
Yes, since your entree piece is specifically about infinity, again, since it was born of #MeToo, I thought, Me Too for what it was a wonderful thing, and I'm not trying to discount Me Too in any way, although this place, I don't know if I do a spoiler, kind of opens up with fuck #MeToo. Point being that this is one section of an area which then the light was shown on, but there are so many other areas that it's impossible to look at an area of women in society where there is not some kind of bias. And so the idea of infinity is it's come from when we're children, we're getting it, as early as the Bible, if you want to argue that, into where we are in a contemporary setting, that we've come so far. I was saying to somebody last night, I remember my mother in her elderly days said, your generation really did a lot for women. Yeah, but there's so much else. There's so much else to be done. There are still lots of areas that, and it's not the fault of men or women or even society. It is a cultural spin that has just proliferated, and without shining a light on it. That's what we always said about voir dire and the idea of integrative theater. Everything has inspiration behind it. What we always did in Cosmic Orchid with integrative theater was, rather than bury the inspiration, highlight the inspiration. So yes. In a way, this is integrative theater. It's a version of voir dire. We are shining the light on what's happening in society for women who may not even realize, besides that, overt, yes, I was sexually harassed or I was raped, that's obvious, but all the other subtle areas that erode our self-esteem as women that are just considered natural in the society, we're shining a light on it. And by shining a light on it, we bring it to the light. And as Wendy said, it's not about male bashing. It's about, if we can all unite as women, and also transgender, the whole minority aspect of who is being biased in the society, and have our allies, we unite. The solidarity is about a unification, not about how we're different. There's even like a mother, I'm not a mother. There's a section about motherhood and, who is a mother and who's not a mother. And that kind of an identity. We tend to splinter, and it's not just women. I find Homo sapiens have this need to have a sense of cohesion. In order to have a sense of cohesion, there needs to be an us and them. In order for us to have cohesion, there's got to be a them that we're against. That's not what it's about. It's about a unity and embracing our differences, and having a unity that honors we're all different, but at the end of the day, we're all the same spiritually.
Oh, absolutely.
I answered the
Absolutely.
question.
We are the spirit. There's only one spirit. Now that you mentioned about the different people in the cast, can you give us just a little background of how you developed the cast and who's in the cast, kind of what they represent? I don't know. You gave them numbers, but if you want to speak about the actors you chose.
Yeah. Okay. So it's like every woman. So they got numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. And I wanted the age difference because so much of what we talk about experiences as women, it doesn't matter whether you're 10 or 90, the experience is essentially the same. So we pretty much were able to hit every decade. And if you count the videos, no, we've got 7 generations.
Decades, not generations.
Decades. I keep saying generations and I mean decades. Okay. And so there were certainly women who, have been with Cosmic Orchid, have been with past voir dires that I wanted to work with. And then we just kind of put it out there for women who were interested in working. And a couple of, always the way it is with our projects is we get, a few new people who come in and are new to the project. And so it was about being able to have that span of ages with topics which were universal. Now, I will say that because so much of my research and interviews and that kind of stuff came from women that I reached out to, and I am 66, that going forward, we want to also hear some younger perspectives. We will outreach for some more younger perspectives. But it is interesting to see the younger women so identifying with the things that are generally like older women situations, for example, menopause, for example. And so of our actors, most of them have all been with Cosmic Orchid, and just to get a couple new ones, like I said. But it's really interesting. The thing about this work, as you know, is that when we say integrative, there is a process we are developing, just the same as playwrights and directors and actors in voir dires. Because of this material, there is an interaction. So, I'd sometimes have something in a rehearsal and put it to a vote and I'd get outvoted. It's like, okay, this is going, because we're all in service of the work, and I, as a director, I'm in service of the work. I don't have a monopoly on this stuff, and so in terms of I don't want to name, you can look at the stuff and see, our 7 cast members and all of our support team. But the fact remains that there needs to be a level of trust that we are one unit and that there's an understanding that my job's to helm, but my job to helm only means I'm providing a safe, supportive, creative environment for people to dig in and bring out their own truth. And also the other thing, Connie, about the numbers 1, 2, 3, it's not like they are one character and remain that character for a storyline. Each scene, and it's very cinematic. I think there's 21 scenes, so it's very short cinematic scenes. Each one, they may be representing a different woman. It's not like it's not like 4 is representing one woman through 20 circumstances. And so that's a kind of a unique thing. And it's also kind of scary for an actor who's not used to development work when they're used to getting a script that's finished and working on one thing. It is about having that adaptivity of being able to sink into each thing as it happens. Most importantly, sinking into the collective. It involves dance. We have a drummer. One is actually in her 20s, but she is a drummer. And so there's dance, there's music, there's chanting besides the video and audio. And so
although I will temper the word dance a little because we're
yeah. Okay. It's not it's line
movement.
Dance, kind of simple.
It's movement. There's movement.
There's movement. There you go. There's movement. I don't think I used the word dance in the synopsis. I actually think I word music and movement. Okay.
Yeah, I'm a hockey player, not a dancer, so I
There you go.
I don't want to set up any false expectations. Do my best.
Breaks out on point in the middle of the show. There's a couple simple rhythm moves that happen in a line. Okay, if that makes sense.
Well,
no, Liz is extremely democratic to work with. Definitely, we all have our input, and you're always open to listening to it all. So it's really exciting. I mean, this is, as an actor, I love this kind of work. I love stuff thrown at me at the last minute. I love having to change. I love having the unpredictability of it, because you have to be completely open and listen and really be, as you said, Liz, one with everyone else. You're not there on your own. And so it's, I mean, it kind of matches with hockey, with the teamwork. Like I always think of it,
if you could share one moment of your stage work, a revelation, what happened to you on stage with the audiences there? Now you've gone through one weekend, the play continues, 2 more weekends, Thursday, Friday, Saturday at 8 and Sunday at 3, correct? At Theater for the New City, which is 155 First Avenue in the East Village. Wendy, if you could share one moment that you felt connected with the audience, what's your feeling, what the audience is getting from this?
Well, it was very strange. It happened on Sunday, and I felt, I don't know why. During the play, we do stuff out, and sometimes, it's black, you don't see anyone, but you feel people's energy. And I felt this energy from this, what I perceived to be a man in the audience, and it was just this. He was giving me something. You know what I mean? You feel that, and at the end, I asked him, "Oh, what?" He was by himself. How'd you wander into this kind of thing? And he's like, I live up the street. I come to shows for Theater for the New City quite often. I saw this, it intrigued me. He goes, I have to get my wife to see it. She's 76 years old, but she was the first woman to graduate from the MBA program at Baruch.
Wow.
And when I'm sitting here listening to a lot of these stories and the gender bias in the professional world and everything, and he's like, I'm hearing my wife, I'm seeing what she lived through and experiencing it. And so it was just I'm getting a little chill with it, because I felt his energy connecting with us, and it turns out it did, so, and we've had a couple of men just wander off the street and say, hey, I want to.
Better than that, right? That's why we do it, to entertain, to educate, and exalt the spirit, like the Greeks say, right, Maria? So thank you, Liz, and thank you, Wendy. Again,
thank you, Coni.
Cosmic Orchid, hashtag Infinity plays this weekend coming up, and one more weekend, Thursday through Saturday evenings, Sunday matinee. So Maria, you want to say goodbye to everybody?
Yeah, thank you everybody. Thank you for watching AirPlay, and we'll see you next month.